Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the very first episode of Life in Rugby. My name is Arafat. You guys can call me Ara. Ara. You guys can call me Ara. So I'm really just someone that loves Namibian rugby, man. I have a deep love for Namibian rugby. I Um, started watching it in 2015, like on a very consistent basis, and and it became a thing of like you're focusing on the rugby on the field, and then because now you're starting to take a real deep interest in it, you start to also take interest in what is happening off field. And this is where I think in 2019 is when I first had the idea to start the podcast. But then procrastination, studies, life, being married, getting married, just kept on putting it back. But now 2023, I just decided like, nah, let me start doing this thing because I feel like it's a real need. So why I started the podcast. So firstly, it's it's very easy, for someone who loves the rugby. It's very easy to see the problems in it. But it's another thing to challenge yourself to be a part of the solution. And I chose to go with the latter. I want to be part of the solution. I want to be part of the people that positively influences Namibia rugby. Um, so one of the things that I noticed and that this platform is trying to achieve, or that this platform is going to achieve, is we want to bring rugby closer to the fans. It's very hard with traditional media to get rugby closer to the fans. It's very hard to get the union to move on like social media. It's very hard for the union to so it's very hard for us to get the union to do the things that we feel as fans we need to get. So I was like, okay, fine, let's start the podcast. Spoke to my team, and I just told them, so like by starting the podcast, when you bring players like on the podcast, or you bring administrators on the podcast, you get to ask them a lot of questions that we do not have answers to, and that only they can answer. For example, we have a group at a high performance center right now, and these guys are. Can I please set the charger on the laptop? Yes, right behind you. Yeah, so we have a group at the high performance center right now, and we want to know like the transition from practicing, doing conditioning or preseason at the home base, at the local clubs, and now you having to um like train at that level. How is it? Want to know what the plan is for rugby in general, like for our domestic league, like for the league. What is the plan for the league? Um, Going into the World Cup year, how preparations going? We can't wait on traditional media, and so that's why, like, by having a lot of players and administrators and all of these people, thank you, and all of these people sitting with us and discussing with us, we would actually be able to achieve this feat. I don't think a lot of people notice that we need this, but I'm telling you and I assure you, like, with time you will realize just how important it is for us. And also for everybody who wants to start a podcast, please start it. We need as much as possible. And just wanted to send a shout out to Absolute Rugby and Open Play, some of the platforms that I've seen that have really contributed to our rugby, our local rugby. So yeah, like, we just want to engage people positively and create conversations. Hopefully this would help with bringing brands. This would help with securing sponsorships for clubs, because once a lot of people start talking about this creates um conversation and influence, and influence usually brings out value, you know so yeah, so that's it, man. Also, yeah, the Trustco 10's with this the Trustco United tennis side was this weekend. I think whew, it was I saw a lot of people come, like, I saw a lot of people come through, familiar faces, and you could just see it, like, people were really just hungry for rugby, and being able to see old players, new players, and fans in general, that was amazing. A big shout out to Trustco United for organizing such for putting out, like for doing such a well organized tournament. Obviously we saw Kudus FNB Kudus picked up right where they left off last season. Unfortunately, Unam is not Unam Owens, but this season, like, yeah, what happened last season? Like they played Unam against semifinals. They lost against Unam in the semifinals. So, but this season they picked up right where they left off, and I see a lot of I see them competing this year again. So a big shout out to them. And also United. United. I saw something at United that I haven't seen in quite a while. I saw chemistry. I saw team chemistry. I've I spent a lot of time last year watching United, and one thing that I noticed this year that they were really missing last year was chemistry. Because you couldn't make sense because these are talented players, but they could not just win a game, and things were just going bad. But this year I saw a lot of chemistry, so they might be back. And yeah, it was obviously disappointing not seeing Western Suburbs there. We're not seeing Unam, the Rehoboth clubs, Royal Falcons and FNB Rehoboth. It was disappointing, but hey, we move. It is what it is. So um the most exciting thing for me yesterday, on Saturday at the 10's was it was the women's rugby. Yeah, women's rugby. Look, in if you look at the play, right, there were obviously a lot of handling errors. A lot still need to be the foundation is still being is still getting solid. It's not where it's supposed to be. It's not a finished thing. But I was watching the game against Trustco United and FNB Wanderers, and bro, I saw them in its I saw women's rugby in such a raw form. And and obviously I would really like to encourage the union because I know they've taken it a notch. They've taken it up with they've they've tried to English. Yeah, they've taken it up a notch with women's rugby, and it's and you can see, man, like they're trying something there. So I just want to encourage them to just continue doing that thing because if you look at like it's so raw right now, right? But if there's a plan, a solid plan, and we get sponsors that invest into women's rugby, we will have a finished product. Maybe a 7 year project. It's not gonna come anytime soon, but I'm telling you right now, there is hope and it was beautiful. For me, it was that I went there to go watch rugby. And when I saw the women play, the ladies play, I was so encouraged. I felt so motivated. I felt so good. And and I really hope that we back them, And this is not just for NRU to continue planning and for the sponsors, even the fans, gents, or guys, or fans. Basically, let's stop just going for the reserve league games and then the Premier League games. Let's support the women. Let's go there. I think usually the games are the first one, 12 o'clock. Let's go there. Let's support them. Let's show them, that the country believes, that women rugby might also be might be the next big thing. But yeah, that was very exciting for me. So while we were watching, I gotta tell you guys this. While we were watching one of the games, I think this was in the morning hours, and then just um like all of a sudden, like, so I was with my friends TK and Hunga, and then guess who joins us? Allister Coetzee. Coach Allister Coetzee just comes, sits next to us, and just casually starts talking to us. So now we're obviously talking about what's happening on the field. And the guys were unfit. Like the guys were unfit. The national team coach was complaining about the guys being unfit. Oh, and so Monday, please don't miss the Monday practices. We know that's when you guys run. So, but it was also very encouraging to have the national team coach sit next to you. And obviously, it's not just a national team coach. It's Coach Alistair Coetzee. This is as big as it gets from a coaching perspective in this country. And he's sitting next to us casually, just having a conversation to us. And I think Donovan Kanji joins us, and we start talking about rugby. So we stopped talking about what's happening on the field and just started talking about the off-field stuff. And and we spoke about a lot of things. We spoke about the players, what the coach thinks of certain players. We spoke about, I think we spoke about the one that I can remember the vividly was Mapiza. We spoke about him, and and obviously everybody that knows Mapiza, everybody holds him in high regard. That's one of the gems that we have. That's talent that we have in Namibia rugby, and seeing him come back from such from an injury, um, a career-ending injury actually is good news to everybody. So it was nice to hear the coach speak of certain players in that way. Um, Also, I think I asked him, why the union doesn't do press statements or press releases or press conferences yet, and um I asked this because I'm like, there's such like I spoke about it earlier. There's such a gap between rugby and its fans, and the only way you know what's happening before a tour, before a test game, before a match, before whatever, usually you have press conferences. Why doesn't the union do that? And he mentioned about the one they did when he was just sort of like laying out his plan. But we need more, you know? If we don't get it from press conferences, then we have platforms like this, so we'll be able to get the answers to the questions that we have. So it was really nice just having the national team coach sit next to us and just be open about answering some of the questions that we had. I actually regret not asking what's the direction that he has, what's the plan that he has for the national team. Because I wanted to hear it from him. It's very reading something and hearing it from someone tell you. I feel like it's more believable when someone tells you. But also, the more important question is also what is their plan regarding the domestic league? Like, it does not look that there's no plan at all there. And also, why is the Namibian Premier League always struggling to find sponsors? Like like Deb Marine moves, like what they did to soccer. Wow, how come we never had that? I personally feel like rugby is bigger than all of these sports. I'm not talking about the fan base that the different sport code has, but we export we have a lot of professionals in our sport code, and as compared to the other sport codes in Namibia. But yeah, so it was nice speaking to the coach. And yeah, 2023 is a really exciting year for rugby. We have the Velviches playing in the Currie Cup. They have a match against the Pumas, I think, in 2 weeks. And then we have obviously the national team is going to have. I think Coach Ellis also spoke about having a tournament in Uruguay before the World Cup. That's very exciting. And then we also have the Rugby World Cup, the main event, obviously. And then also we also have the league, the Namibia Premier League. That's always been exciting. That's the only thing that has been holding us down. So a big shout out. We're really behind the union on this. We're gonna back them. We're gonna be supporting them. Please don't forget to support the women's rugby match, and don't forget to spend a lot of your money at these stadiums. Leave all of your money. Please make sure to buy drinks and food and support these clubs, man. They need it. Um, we've spoken to various clubs. We're just waiting on responses to do interviews. So, and we have two big interviews lined up. One with someone who's very influential in Namibia rugby, and one with um one of a national team, like basically a superstar. So please don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications on the channel, and we will obviously be dropping like very soon. So please, guys, thank you so much for tuning in, and yeah, until next time.